of the Kulin Nation, their elders, past and present, and any elders present here today. So, education for future success. So, I want to talk a bit about this, and hopefully, if you've got any questions, please put that on the chat line, which we will be monitoring and be able to answer your questions. In taking up a pathway to complete a Year 12 studies, our young people are setting themselves up for a strong future. And so when we look at that, we're looking at higher levels of education that lead to higher paying jobs. And higher levels of education lead to better health. And this is what the data says: better health over a lifetime, and even a lower likelihood of engagement in crime, which was really important. So completing Year 12 sets up a pattern of accepting lifelong learning as a concept, which really means that they will be ready to accept opportunities for career changes through their lives. And so, of course, as a contribution to our Victorian community, young people completing Year 12 has a very positive outcome as a result. So when we start looking at education for future success, we start looking at, you might be actually interested in the general trend of what young people take on after Year 12. Statistics, and it's really important to look at data, and the statistics and the data that we gather from the On-Track survey from our 2023 shows some general trends, and that is that young people, our students who complete Year 12, are significantly more likely to go into further education and training. This is especially important as the Australian National Skills Commission tells us that Year 9 in 10 new jobs, that 9 in 10 new jobs are thought to require a post-school qualification. So education and skills development after school will be critical to securing sound and fulfilling future employments. And so we all know that jobs that provide a strong future are requiring stronger skills, knowledge and capabilities, and we also have to look at how the role of an auto mechanic has changed over the last 20 years, because everything's changing. Nothing stays the same with computers, and it's very essential to things like working of the cars. So I'll pass you on to our senior school leader, Miss Anna Bonanno, who will talk further to you about our education here at VUSC.
Oh, thank you, Miss Hazim. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining in tonight's presentation. My name is Anna Bonanno, and I am the Senior School Leader, and I'll be speaking about the options for your child for years 11 and 12 over the next 2 years. So the study options for your child would either include completing the VCE certificate or the VCE VM certificate. So hopefully by the end of the session this evening, you'll have a deeper understanding of the two certificates and their differences. Students will undertake either the VCE certificate or the VCE VM certificate. The VCE certificate is a 2-year academic program that opens pathways to university. It offers studies in humanities, science, maths, technologies, arts, PE, languages, as well as VET programs. You would need to attain an ATAR, which is a ranking on a scale. It's a numerical score which is needed to enter universities. This is a requirement. The VCE VM certificate is also a 2-year vocational and applied learning program that opens pathways to certificate courses, apprenticeships, traineeships, and the workforce. workforce. There'll be more to come on the VM through our applied leader, Miss Pockington. I would now like to show a video. It's a quick video, goes for about a minute and a half, that will help explain the pathways and their options.
There are now two ways to get your Victorian Certificate of Education. You can enrol in the VCE or in the VCE Vocational Major, a new 2-year vocational and applied learning program that sits within the VCE. The VCE Vocational Major is a great choice if you prefer to learn in a real-world environment, putting practical life skills into action. It's also a great choice if you don't need an ATAR for your post-school goals and want to move into an apprenticeship, traineeship, further study, or directly into a job. If you want an ATAR when you finish school, you should select a VCE pathway with subjects that lead to a study score. A VCE pathway can take you to university, high-level TAFE or VET certificate courses, or into an apprenticeship, traineeship, or the workforce. Your school will offer a variety of subjects that you can include in your VCE or VCE vocational major, like biology, drama, psychology, literature, or accounting. You can also include VET subjects like health, electrical industry, or creative and digital media. For students not yet ready or able to undertake the VCE or the VCE vocational major, the Victorian Pathways Certificate is a new, flexible Year 11 and 12 course that's built around the needs of individuals. Choose a study option that suits your strengths, goals, and aspirations. Talk to your teachers and careers practitioner to help make your choice.
Thanks, Christy. So each pathway develops its own range of skills which are equally valued. The VCE certificate pathway has a classroom focus where students build and enhance their skills in the knowledge of a subject, in applying skills and knowledge through doing experiments and practical activities. This is known as a knowledge-based pathway. And the VCE Vocational Major Certificate Pathway has an applied skills-based learning program where students have the opportunities to apply their skills to real life and project-based learning. And this is known as skills-based pathways. And this can occur in the classroom, the workplace, and throughout the community. So this is a snapshot of the two senior school certificates. We have the VCE certificate on the left, the VCE VM on the right. As you can see, they both lead to employment, apprenticeships, traineeships and TAFE. But if your child has aspirations of going to university, then the VCE certificate is what they will need to complete. However, it's still possible for a VCE VM student to go to university upon completion of a TAFE course. So that is still viable for them. Liz will speak, our applied learning leader will speak about the VET component in both of the senior school certificates. So the key features of the VCE is that it is completed over 2 years. If your child decides to complete the VCE certificate, then that means they have aspirations to go to university. By completing the VCE certificate, they will receive an ATAR, which may be used for entry into the tertiary courses, entry into university. The VCE certificate have subjects, which are units. They consist of 4 units. There are units 1, 2, 3, and 4. Units 1 and 2 are usually completed in Year 11, and units 3 and 4 are usually completed in Year 12. All students that complete the VCE certificate must complete English, or if they qualify, English as an Additional Language, EAL. And it's really important, extremely important, that your child pass all English units in Year 11 and in Year 12. In addition to English, they can also select to do literature if they want to. And also there is a senior secondary handbook that students have got access to. And if they have a look at page 7, this will clarify this slide. Thank you. So English is compulsory. That's the only compulsory subject that students do in Year 11 and 12. Then we have maths. So there are a few options in undertaking VCE math. Currently, if you have a look at the left-hand column, the Year 10 students are doing either maths methods or general maths. So this extends in Year 11 and Year 12 where they can do specialist maths, maths methods and general maths, units 1 and 2. That's Year 11. And then they can continue through to Year 12 and do specialist maths, maths methods or general maths 3 and 4. They don't do all of them. If they do specialist maths, then they must do maths methods. Or they could simply do maths methods in Year 10, Year 11 and Year 12. If your child is doing general maths in Year 10, this leads to general maths in Year 11, so general maths units 1 and 2, and general maths units 3, 4 in Year 12. We do have a new subject that we're offering next year. It is foundation maths. It is a VCE subject, and they can also do that, or they can also have the option of doing no maths, as maths is not compulsory in VCE. But we strongly recommend that students speak to the careers team to find out if whatever course they want to do in university, if there is a maths component, what they must do and which type of maths. They could speak to their maths teacher or the careers. They can look it up in the senior secondary handbook. All the descriptions for the maths and what they will do, what they cover, are included in the senior secondary team. So please note that with maths, follow that PowerPoint, that slide, to make sure that you are studying, that you can go onto the right type of maths. This is what a sample course would look like for your child. In Year 11, they will be doing English because it is compulsory, and 5 subjects. So a total of 6 subjects or 6 units for a semester. So for the whole year, they'll be doing 12 units. And in Year 12, what happens is that they will drop English. Oh, sorry, what am I saying? They will keep English, it's compulsory. They will drop 1 subject from Year 11 and they will only do 5 subjects in Year 12, which is a total of 10 units. So they either do English, or if they qualify, they do EAL. It is compulsory. And generally, generally students choose subjects that they have a passion or an interest in, because as we all know, if your child is connected to the subject, loves the subject, has a passion, they will do really well. So once again, they can use the handbook to find out the descriptions of the subjects that they'd like to do. They can speak to the teachers at school here at the senior campus that teach the subject. They can have a chat to the careers team. There is a lot of support and expertise within our college to help students make a worthwhile and correct decision about what subjects they can undertake. And lastly from me, this is what a typical VCE week looks like. On Monday, they will have 4 classes, period 1 to 4. On Tuesday, they will have also 4 classes, but on a Tuesday, the Year 11s do go home at the end of period 3. On Wednesday is also a 4 on day. And can I go back? And on Tuesday, the Year 12s are here. On Thursday, they do have a 4-period day where the Year 11s have a CSG, which I'll explain in a minute, and the Year 12s go home after period 4. And Friday, they do have 4 sessions. So on those afternoons where you see the CSG refers to a collaborative study group, which means that students collaborate to develop and deepen their understanding by completing tasks such as practice time writing or writing essays in preparations of an upcoming assessment task to gain feedback from their classroom teachers. This is a fabulous incentive that we have here at VUSC to help students improve in order to enhance their skills in English. And we have outstanding English staff in both Year 11 and 12 that aren't only outstanding, they're always amazing, and they continue to achieve outstanding results each year. So that is basically just a snapshot of the difference of what the VCE certificate is. I spoke a little bit about the VCE VM certificate, but now I will introduce Miss Liz Pockington, who is the Applied Learning Leader, who will give you a snapshot of the VCE VM certificate.
Wonderful. Thank you, Miss Bonanno, and welcome parents, carers and students. My name is Elizabeth Pocklington, and my role at VUSC is to oversee the VCE Vocational Major at Year 11 and 12 and the Vocational Education and Training Program, or as some of you may know it as VET. Let us have a closer look at the VCE Vocational Major. Like the VCE VM is a 2-year senior secondary certificate, which has, as was discussed, replaced the old VCAL certificate. There are 4 compulsory subjects in the VCE VM: literacy, numeracy, personal development skills, and work-related skills. And like the VCE, these subjects run units 1, 2, 3, and 4. And like Ms. Bonanno said, units 1 and 2 are done at Year 11, and units 3 and 4 are done at Year 12. All students in the VCVM are also required to undertake a compulsory VET subject, which I will talk to you further in the next few slides. What I must stress to you all is that students must choose their VET wisely, as this cannot be changed because it is a 2-year program and they run yearly. So all students must pick the VET wisely. And of course, there is a wonderful careers team and myself who would be more than happy to advise students as to what the best VET course is for them. Students will also gain credit from their time in the workplace, as all students in the vocational major are required to do a structured workplace learning where they go out and they spend a day with the employer in their VET industry. So for example, if students are doing building construction, students will need to find placement with a builder. Likewise, if students undertake animal studies, they will be required to spend a day with a veterinarian and gain the experience and skills there. The VCE vocational major is assessment based. There are no exams, there are no study scores, and there are no ATA. The only exam students will be required to sit is the GAT, which will occur in Year 12. Students will gain a satisfactory completion based on the work that they complete in class, as well as projects. Here is a typical VCE vocational major week for all students. Students are required at school on Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday. Now, for the Tuesday and Thursday, students undertake VET or they undertake their structured workplace learning. So, for example, at year 11, VET usually occurs on a Tuesday. So a typical program for a year 11 VCVM student would be Monday they're at school, Tuesday they will be doing VET at their host school, Wednesday they'll be at school, Thursday they'll be doing their structured workplace learning, and Friday they'll be back here at school again. So as you can see, like the VCE, the VCVM is a full-time senior school certificate. Okay, now we're going to have a look at VET, which stands for the Vocational Education and Training. And I'm just in a minute going to get Christy to play a brief introduction on what VET looks like and how it is delivered to secondary students. Thanks, Christy.
What do you like learning? And how do you like to learn? Do you like to create? To build? To perform? Or to experiment? Do you like working with animals? With cars? With technology? Or with food and drink? Do you want to learn more about healthcare, sports and outdoor activities, or farming and the environment? Or do you just like learning new skills? Whoever you are, and whatever you like learning, think about VET.
Thank you, Christy, for playing that. VET, the Vocational Education and Training, is a national system with qualifications that are recognised anywhere in Australia. A VET qualification can contribute towards both the VCE and the VCE vocational major. It has been found that undertaking of VET subjects does improve the transition for students from school to work or further education. And why is that? It is because undertaking a VET, students are exposed to a range of employability skills and also exposed to an array of industry knowledge and experience. Listed below are just some of the employability skills that your child will take away from VET. Things like technical skills, communication, teamwork, problem solving, specialised knowledge in the area, industry knowledge, self-management, planning and organisation and initiative. And these employability skills have actually come from a round table of employers who actually design the training packages for VET. These are the employability skills that our employers want to see in our young students, and they can learn all this just by undertaking a VET. At VUSC, we host 3 courses. At year 11, we have the Certificate 2 in Building and Construction, which is a pre-apprenticeship course. We have now the Certificate 3 in Sports, Aquatics and Recreation. This has replaced the Certificate 3 in Sport and Recreation. The reason behind this is there has been a training package development. A new package has come out and they have changed the name to suit the industry, as well as a Certificate 3 in Business. And now offered to every student in Year 10 from next year is the Certificate 2 in Work Skills. A great advantage for a Year 10 student to undertake a VET is that a Year 10 student can already gain 2 credits towards their VC next year, as well as take away a qualification at Year 10 level. And lastly, all students will have access to this book. It is the 2025 Student VET Cluster Handbook. Now, the beauty of undertaking the VCVM is these students have access to all the courses that are in this book. And there are around, at the moment, there are about 35 to 40 VET courses that your student can be exposed to. So your student will come home with this book for you guys to have a look at. And again, I just want to really stress to you that it is so important that you guys get the VET right, because it is very, very hard to change VETs. So we like for you to get advice between myself and the careers department for what is suited to your child. I am now going to hand you over to Melissa Bell, and she's going to have a talk to you about this wonderful program called Head Start. Over to you, Mel.
Thank you, Liz. My name's Melissa Bell. I work with the Head Start program, which is a Department of Education program that supports young people to start an apprenticeship or a traineeship whilst they're in their senior secondary years of schooling. So Head Start, as I said, it is a department program, and we will work with your young person who has a particular interest in an industry to set up an apprenticeship or traineeship whilst they're in year 11 or 12. Thanks, Christy. So an apprenticeship or traineeship is in 2 parts. It sits very nicely within the vocational major program, as a lot of the students are already doing a VET in a particular area. So if you have a student who is interested in building and construction at a Certificate 2 level, then most likely they would be interested in doing an apprenticeship in carpentry. So they would already be doing, in year 11, they would commence their Certificate 2, which we would call a pre-apprenticeship certificate. If they were interested in doing and commencing an apprenticeship, we would look for a satisfactory employer for them. And they could commence the Certificate 3 level, which is at the level that would enable them to become a qualified carpenter. So the actual apprenticeship is in 2 parts. It's on-the-job training with your workplace supervisor and training in a TAFE or training provider. Head Start means that you can start that apprenticeship, and when you finish your year 12, if you haven't completed that qualification, then you will convert to full-time to complete that qualification. So the role of Head Start is that we help to carefully find an employer that's going to suit your student. So we work with the school staff to support your child to stay up to date with their studies and make sure that they're not falling behind. To take on a Head Start apprenticeship, we are asking a little bit more of your student to be able to attend all classes on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and a Tuesday and Thursday in the workplace or at training, depending on their particular program. We work with the employer to make sure that, they're also up to date with their TAFE, as we want satisfactory outcomes for the student at school, but also within their apprenticeship. So some of the industries that students can undertake apprenticeships or traineeships are in things like electrotechnology, plumbing, carpentry, hospitality, commercial cookery, healthcare services, allied health that can be pathways into nursing. There are opportunities within programs with REIS, which is the supply chain operations, and horticulture. There's a whole range. There's also business administration, in traineeships, there's IT. So depending on what your student is interested in, there is generally a pathway. Thank you.
Thanks,
Good
Mel.
pick.
And it's great to see many of our students take the opportunity to apply for and work with Head Start. And it certainly does just that. We see lots of students move into apprenticeships full-time at the end of year 12. And for me, that's a really outstanding outcome and a great testament to the success of the Head Start program. So my name's Christy Muratori. I'm the Careers Coordinator here at VUSC. And I'd like to begin this evening my part of the presentation by just speaking with you about what we've been doing with your children at school to prepare them for their Year 9 and 10 subject selections over weeks 3 and 4. So in Year 9 and 10, we have a program called Inquiry. And as part of the Inquiry program, where students have 2 periods a week, they undertake a careers unit that involves thinking about themselves, their strengths, their interests, as well as their future career interests, and looking at all of the available pathways into those careers. The Year 10 careers unit is culminating in 2 events for students this week. We have guest speakers tomorrow who will join us to speak with all of our Year 10s about their career journeys. And students will have an opportunity to ask questions that they've been developing for those guest speakers. We also have our Senior Secondary Expo that will take place during period 4 on Thursday, this Thursday, the 25th of July. So from approximately 2 p.m. to 3 p.m, the Year 10 students will rotate between an information session with me on how to select their senior secondary course and subjects, as well as an opportunity to speak with all of the subject teachers and program providers at Year 11 and 12 to find out more about what's available to them. We're also inviting any parents or carers who are available to attend the expo in Building B. Please check with your child as to whether they are in the first group to rotate between 2 and 2:30 or whether they're in the second group from 2:30 till 3. And that information will also be published on Compass before Thursday. So there's lots of choices for Year 9s and Year 10s. Year 10s are making a really important decision about their senior secondary certificate. And there's some real implications around the choices they make. And as Liz Pocklington mentioned, with students in the vocational major, there are fewer choices to make, but really important decisions to get right around their vet selection. For our Year 9 students, they have lots of decisions to make as they will have up to 8 electives in Year 10. So it's a fantastic opportunity for them to experience subjects that are new, that they haven't had an opportunity to take prior to Year 10. They can also continue in subjects that they're really enjoying or doing well at. Our Year 10s completed the Moresby assessment last year, the My Career Insights program, where they were able to speak with a careers advisor about their aptitudes and strengths and possible careers that are aligned with those. And they can use that information, and they've been reviewing that during Inquiry this year to help with their senior secondary selections. Our Year 9 students will undertake that program in Term 4, and they'll also use that information to prepare for their Year 10 selections next year. In addition to all of the information that students have access to at school and in attending career expos and those kinds of opportunities, there's lots of outside opportunities to learn about careers, conversations with family members, other community groups that your child's involved with, and their own personal experiences with different occupations and careers can influence their decision-making. The sorts of questions that we are encouraging young people to think about as they plan for their Year 9 and 10 subject selections are, of course, the types of careers or fields that they're interested in. For many young people, that will change over time, but it is really important to give consideration to those careers that hold interest. Sometimes there might be subjects that are required at university for particular courses, or there might be VETs that fit a career interest really well that students are going to benefit from taking at year 11 and 12. So it is important, whilst we recognise that young people are likely to change their interests, to think about what careers hold interest for them at the moment. In inquiry, students are looking into the pathways into those careers, whether it be through university, TAFE, an apprenticeship or a traineeship. And then we map that backwards to the senior certificate, so the VCE or the VCE vocational major, that is most aligned with their career interests and likely to give them an opportunity to be successful in their senior years and complete a program that has relevant learning for them and their interests for the future. For parents and carers to support young people with their decision making, we'd encourage you to continue to have conversations at home, asking your child about their interests, their learning and inquiry, any subjects that they're enjoying or that they would think that they will enjoy in the future. The Year 10 Handbook and Senior Secondary Handbook have been published to parents and carers through the Compass newsfeed so that you can access it, as well as your child who has received a digital copy through their inquiry classes. There is information in the Senior Secondary Handbook about the VCE and the vocational major, so please have a closer read of that information to supplement what you've learnt this evening. And please contact the careers team here at VUSC with any further questions, and we're very happy to assist you. Externally, there's opportunities for young people to attend university and TAFE open days, and the careers team regularly publish those opportunities to students through their year level cohort teams on Microsoft Teams. In terms of the preparation for Year 10 course counselling, that is scheduled to take place next Thursday, the 1st of August at the senior campus. Year 10 students are not expected to attend their regular classes on this day. Year 10 students received a letter last Friday during home group that included their course counselling interview time and the name of their course counsellor. So we hope that they have passed that information on to you, and we'd love if you're available for you to attend with them. If you're not available to attend on the day, we do require that the students take home their subject selections sheet and have you sign that after a conversation to make sure that you are satisfied and support their selections. On course counselling day, as advised in the letter that students received, we are asking students to bring their laptops with them, and their course counsellors will invite them to share some of the work that they've been doing during inquiry to prepare for subject selections, so that they can refer back to their career investigations or their reflection on their Moresby assessment and talk about how that's supported them in making the selections that they've made for Year 11 and 12. Year 9 course counselling will take place over 2 days, Thursday the 8th of August and Friday the 9th of August, and that will take place in the Junior Campus Library. Year 9 classes will run as usual on those 2 days, and Year 9 students will have a course counselling interview scheduled for either Thursday or Friday. They will have permission to leave their class at their interview time. Parents and carers are invited to attend, and we ask that if you are attending the interview, that you please come to the junior campus office to meet your child just before their interview time, and then come over to the library together. In their inquiry classes this Thursday, the Year 9 students will have a presentation where they will receive instructions on how to complete a subject selection form. So they will receive their letter with their course counselling interview day and time, as well as the name of their course counsellor, and they'll receive a subject selection form that we're asking they draft their selections in preparation for course counselling day. And the course counsellor on the day will assist them and make sure that they've made all of the selections correctly. There are some guidelines we have in place, and those guidelines are in the Year 10 handbook, which again has been published to parents and carers on the Compass newsfeed, as well as to students. So this is the handbook that I've been referring to. This is the Senior Secondary Handbook, and you also have the Year 10 handbook, which has been made available to you on the Compass newsfeed, as well as to students through their year level teams on Microsoft Teams. The subject descriptions for all of the available subjects are in these handbooks. Year 10 students have also received a copy of the Brimbank Vet Cluster Handbook through their inquiry classes, and they are able to use that if they are continuing into the vocational major to look at all of the vets that are available within our cluster. I'd like to thank all of the families that have been able to attend this evening, as well as to my colleagues for their presentations. And again, if there are any questions, please provide them to either your child to communicate to one of us, or if you'd like to contact us directly, the careers team can be contacted at the senior campus. We look forward to working with you to support your child's decision making over the next couple of weeks and into the future. Thank you everyone for your time.